Okay, so my topic today is about observations that I've made thus far in my transition. Okay, so I didn't know whether I should have mentioned this earlier, but I didn't need a T letter. I haven't seen a therapist. The normal process of getting T. I got fortunate enough to skip most of that. All it took for me was call the nearest Kaiser clinic to where I live, and then I told them my situation. Then they directed me to another clinic, to the one in Honolulu, and where I spoke to the nurse of my doctor. But actually, I actually talked to the nurse more than I did to my doctor. But all she asked me was, after she, asked my preferred name and all, how long I've been dressed as have I been dressing as a man? And the answer I gave her was basically since I was old enough to dress myself, which was like somewhere between the 3rd and the 5th grade, I forget. Another thing I've wondered though, being able to obtain T so quickly, was that I realized that my nurse and my doctor, their experience with trans patients are mainly with MTFs. If I remember correctly, nurse only told me that I was the 3rd or 4th FTM patient that they have, and they're the only clinic for the Kaiser system on this island that deals with trans patients. So that just goes to show how small the trans community, let alone the FTM community, is. There are other medical providers out here in the islands, but Kaiser's one of the big ones, I think. 2nd biggest. So if there's any other Hawaii guys out there, let me know, because I only have met one other Hawaii guy, and there's gotta be more than just us two. Which reminds me of the awkward stages of early transition. Now I found myself wondering whether I rushed this or not. If I should have given it a year after I came out before starting T, if I should have done this and that. But the reason why I am, now that I've really thought about it, I'm okay with how my transition is going so far, is because coming out to people is one thing. I might have felt a whole lot better, but nobody's going to believe me. Nobody would have believed me if I just said, oh, by the way, I'm a guy, or a transsexual, whatever. They wouldn't believe me. They would just think I'm just some confused little girl that dresses like a dude, looks like a dude. But so yeah, I think that was the main reason for me starting T, because the dysphoria was killing me. I got tired of being called sweetie, babe, honey, ma'am. There's a lot of guys. The bar I work at, it's a straight bar right across the street from a military base. So I deal with men constantly, every day. So I got a lot of people I can study, but people at a bar are very sketchy to kind of, not really emulate, but to learn from. I mean, you got the masculine, hyper macho, like biker types. You got the soldiers, and they're very the ones that I think know about me, I'm sure they're at odds, and it makes me feel like I am a threat to their masculinity, which is pretty retarded, because my masculinity has nothing to do with theirs and vice versa. It's like, I am me, you are you. Who cares? But for the most part, the guys that do know, they're cool about it. And one of the guys even taught me about the fine art of the handshake, about the proper grip and the hold and stuff. It was pretty neat. So it's, yeah, just these things I'm noticing about both men and women, and how the insight I've spent so much of my life paying attention to women because I like girls, and not because I saw myself as one of them. I actually didn't. I never really did. But I wanted to be the person that. Actually, I've always wanted to be the guy that understood women, because I always hear my straight friends tell me about how men don't act certain, they don't do a certain thing, they don't treat them a certain way, or they don't understand how they feel about stuff. And I always wanted to be the exception to that. I wanted to have this information. So I spent so much time studying women that I never studied men as much, or I never paid attention to guys, because as far as I was concerned, they didn't matter. They just ended up taking all the girls that I had crushes on. But now with this transitioning thing, I notice guys more. Like, I pay attention to their mannerisms, just so I'm aware of what's in store for me. Because I know there's going to be people, men in particular, that's going to question my identity. There's people that, even women, that's question, like, what makes me a man if I don't have a dick. And see, that was what always held me back. I couldn't understand. It's like, I always felt like a guy in every sense, but I was okay with not having that. And I always thought that's what disqualified me from being a guy, is because I'm okay with not having an organ between my legs, and having to deal with random erections, spontaneous erections, whatever. I'm not too dysphoric about my lower half. It's only when it comes to sexual situations that it gets a little iffy, but for the most part, it's not that bad. It's my top half that's bothered me pretty much ever since the first time I had to wear a bra. I hated it. And wearing a binder for the first time reminded me just how much I hated it. How much I still hate it. Wearing a binder and 2 shirts in the middle of summer. It's a pain in the ass, and people wondering why I start fidgeting when I get like hot spiky flashes on my back or whatever. Oh, insomnia. I have been finding myself sleeping at like 3 o'clock lately, and it really sucks. I don't know if it's tea related still, or it probably is, but I'm always finding myself finding something to do or trying to catch up on things I haven't done. And yeah, but I slept all day today to catch up on my weeks of lack of sleeping, so I guess it's just this vicious cycle. I'm rambling, so I'm going to cut this video off, but yeah, just my thoughts about my life thus far. Alright guys, take care. Laters.